the Steve, but we've been seeing more and more lately Steffen try and go with some variety secondaries. We saw the Pikachu at the last Platinum Star Monthly, and now we are seeing the Rob as another attempt, another test at who could be a good character to cover some of Steve's natural weaknesses. Let's see how the Rob does.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and I definitely know that, like, Wolfric is happy for sure, because with that tag, man, I love Smasher's tags, man. The only thing I can think of when I see that is like, oh, man, I got to play a wolf. Frick. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see that. I love the tag. But the Robert the Robot out here with the correct color in the Virtual Boy one. That's my favorite Rob color, personally. And we're out here seeing what we can do against the Lucina. This matchup, little iffy in the sense that, like, Rob can't really just sort of mash in the exact same way that he used to. Lucina's got the range. Once she's actually in on Rob, she doesn't have to worry as much about the danger zone unless she really plays a little bit too scared or doesn't really know how to deal with gyro. And right now, Wolfric in the advantage by about 30% right now, but still anybody's game so far for the first stock.
Yeah, it's been extremely good to see Wolfric press advantage, but that time feeling themselves a little bit too far. But you're able to wrap up real easily with that neutral there, able to come in and close out the stock on a position where you did have a lead, but these low percent strings have been extremely solid for Wolfric. Look at him interplaying some of these stalls, mixing up the fall speed of Lucina, who's already a little bit floaty. That early up B may have been in order to contest some of the pressure that Steffen's put on, and see how he can get out of this corner here, or if Steffen will complete the edge guard. Not quite, but one too many get-up attacks coming out from Wolfric right now, still leaving himself in the corner, despite given how many they're going for. Oh, no.
Yeah, no Wolves made that frick happen, unfortunately. That ledge trap from Steffen was just beautiful, that entire sequence. Just did such a wonderful job at keeping him off the level. Didn't do the best job at, like, really mixing up his ledge get-up game at the end there, because a lot of the time when you're at the ledge, it's not even just about what option you pick. It's also about how you time it, especially against item characters like Rob, who could just plop that gyro down by the ledge, cover get-up attack, and cover neutral get-up at the same time. It's also just about how you mix your stuff, mix your air drift, mix your air dodge timing, all that stuff. Good cross-up right there at the very end of that. I love the hesitation to get on the other side of his shield to just make Wolfric think he was going to stay in front of him to go for the grab. Very good stuff by Steffen right there.
And a phenomenal parry as well, able to just keep things rolling in his favor. And one of the hardest things about being playing against a ranked player as an unranked player is when you start doing well and then things start to fall apart. As we're seeing Wolfric start to force things a little bit, look for offensive situations where they aren't there, and of course just falling into so many of Steffen's traps, as that up air won't do it with the proper DI, but you can only live so many of them now at 131. Down air coming out, and Wolfric really needs to finish this edge guard, but Steffen with the reversal, and that's always the danger of going off stage against Rob. That frame 6 forward air is so quick, just such a perfect swat against players that are trying to contest Rob without a hitbox, but he's still there. He's still actionable even after using that up B. Always have to be ready, and why a lot of players prefer to ledge trap the large body instead of trying to force their way into a deep edge guard.
Rob has one of those, like, unique attributes in his up B to the point where, like, normally, like, in some other characters, like Duck Hunt is one of the ones that comes to mind, for example. When you're when your up B doesn't have, like, your recovery doesn't have a hitbox, doesn't have any vulnerability or anything like that, it's usually pretty bad, or pretty exploitable in that sense, but Rob has one of the unique and good attributes of being actionable out of it. Being able to attack out of it, air dodge out of it, reverse out of it sometimes a little bit. Like, he's just got so many options and so many versatile tools out of that up B that so many characters don't have, and that's part of what makes him just part of the amazing character that he is as we move on to Small Battlefield for game number 2, and we move on to a dead Lucina for stock number 1.
It's so crazy because you could really trace that entire stock based on Wolfric overextending with the falling fair into the runoff dare. Like, great idea against a lot of fast fallers. Rob's not a fast faller, so you're going to have to be a little bit more patient and see if you can find these whiff punishes on stage. Again, trying to prep with some of this offstage movement. And while some of these get-up attacks have been working and they've been able to keep themselves in a pretty manageable situation overall, it's little things that will extend leads and overarching decisions that instead of playing advantage, you're resetting neutral, which is rough.
Yeah, especially against a Robert the Robot with that gyro, just to put it out, man. 3, 2, 1, go in advantage state, as I do believe the good lad Glentendo has once said. But that's at the beginning of the game. Now we are already slapping this player in percent right here. Gonna get the strong down air off of the recovery right there to bounce off the ground into the up B. That was to the up air. That was definitely one of those like unorthodox options that I don't think that Wolfric thought, or that Steffen thought was gonna work out. But Wolfric dies anyway.
Yeah, Rob up air. Rob has so many like little DI traps. Like, are you ready to DI what you're hit by? Are you ready on reaction? Because it can really take a toll if you're not ready to DI up air, and if you're not ready to call out an option early. If you're trying to delay your edge guard, delay your recovery and go low, that's where the arm rotor